Okay. Um, what we'll do is we'll play a consolidated film of the 17 artifacts and then we'll proceed with the impression of our guests. So I'll share my screen.
Yeah, Deepa, would you like to take the floor?
Yes, yes, sir.
So here's where we'll show you the sorts of projects that we've seen. Yeah, Deepa, would you like to take the floor?
Yes, yes, sir.
So here's where we'll show you
Presented by Adya Singhania
the
from
sorts
Vibgyor
of
High School, Malad, Mumbai. Our
projects
next
that
artifact
we've
is a Vedika
seen.
Stambha or
Yeah, Deepa,
Vedika
would you
pillar,
like to take the floor?
dated to the 1st century CE.
Yes,
This
yes, sir.
stambha was originally a part of the Jagannath Tekri Stupa remains at Pauni. The excavations conducted at the site of Pauni by the Nagpur University
So here's
yielded
where we'll
various
show you
architectural fragments. This
the sorts
particular
of
fragment chosen by the participant is
projects
currently
that
artifact in
we've
the Vedika
seen.
Stambha
Yeah,
or
Deepa,
Vedika
would you like to
pillar,
take the floor?
dated to the 1st century CE. Depicts three
Yes,
standing
yes, sir.
stambhas was originally a part of the Jagannath Tekri Stupa remains at Pauni. The excavations conducted at the site of Pauni by the Nagpur University
So here's
yielded
where we'll
various
show you
architectural fragments.
uh,
This seems to be an issue. Is this only me or everybody is hearing the same thing?
we're all hearing the same thing.
All right, great, great. Uh, Deepa, I think there's echo happening.
One
So
second. I think there is
yeah,
some looping that's going on.
correct, correct.
There is some glitch. Yeah, there is some glitch going on. One second.
Should I play it?
Yeah, why don't you? In fact, I logged out and I logged back in again. Hopefully,
Correct.
the
So
glitch won't be.
let me try playing it. Deepa, should I play it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, play it at
Uh,
1.15 the speed.
correct. I'll do that. You'll have to give me access.
Or Deepa can do
Okay,
that.
I'll play it again.
Okay.
Deepa, if you're having a problem, Madhu can do it.
Yeah, just a minute.
It's ironic because we rehearsed it all just about 15 minutes ago before we came online.
It happens. Don't worry. It happens.
Yeah.
Presented by Adya Singhania from Vibgyor High School, Malad, Mumbai. Our next artifact is a Vedika Stambha or Vedika pillar, dated to the 1st century CE. This stambha was originally a part of the Jagannath Tekri Stupa remains at Pauni. The excavations conducted at the site of Pauni by the Nagpur University yielded various architectural fragments. This particular fragment, chosen by the participant, is currently located in the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Vastu Sangrahalaya. The Vedika Stambha depicts three standing figurines in the lower half, while the upper half depicts a stupa in the center, a wheel on the left, and the Bodhi tree on the right. The artifact chosen and presented by Abhay Maheshwari from Aryavidya Mandir, Bandra, is a mica tourmaline statue of Surya. Traced to the 7th century CE, the statue is currently located at the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Vastu Sangrahalaya. The statue depicts Surya standing in the Samabhanga posture, with smaller figurines standing on both sides. In both hands, he holds lotus flowers, while a halo is featured behind his head. While this depiction is rooted in the Brahminic iconography, early depictions of Surya often show him wearing a cloak and high boots, reflecting Greek, Iranian, and Scythian influences. Presented by Team Time Trekkers, our next artifact is a 15th century CE red sandstone sculpture of Kartikeya. Currently housed in the Odisha State Museum, the sculpture depicts Kartikeya as a six-headed deity with four arms. As seen in the sculpture, Kartikeya stands in the Samabhanga posture. While one of the upper arms of the sculpture is damaged, the deity can be seen holding a trident in one arm, with one of the lower arms holding a bird, and the other resting near a peacock, considered as the Vahana of Kartikeya. Worshipped as a deity associated with warfare, the worship of Kartikeya can be found not only in India but also in other Southeast Asian countries. Presented by Sudhanva Kandur from BGS Public School, Bangalore, our next artifact is a sculpture of Swayambhu Vishwakarma, a deity often associated with Brahma. Dated to the late 19th century CE, the artifact is currently at the Janapada Loka Museum, Ramnagar, Karnataka. The sculpture depicts Vishwakarma as a youthful figure with 5 heads and 10 hands. Seated on a lotus in the Lalitasana, Vishwakarma can be seen holding various ayudhas. The artifact presented by Team Jain International School is a panel depicting Shiva as Nataraj. Attributed to the Kalachuri Rashtrakuta period, the panel is located in Cave 21 of the Ellora Cave Complex. It features Lord Shiva in the center in the dancing posture, with Parvati seated near the lower left corner and Ganesha on the right in the middle, and surrounded by divine and semi-divine beings. The posture of Shiva as shown in this sculpture can be identified as the Kati Sama dancing posture, one among the 9 different categories of the Nritta Murtis of Shiva. The artifacts presented by Arohi Limaye from Aryavidya Mandir, Bandra East, Mumbai are mile markers commissioned during the British period. Over 200 years old, these milestones were commissioned in 2 groups. The first group of milestones was established between 1818 and 1837. This group features distances marked in Roman numerals. The second group of milestones was established in 1837 and features distances marked in English numerals. Of the 16 milestones that were commissioned, 10 were found in their original location and were later restored. These mile markers, found along the streets from the fort area in South Mumbai to Sion, recognize the St. Thomas Cathedral as their 0 point. This artifact presented by Arnav Shahane of the Patwardhan High School is a Sati stone currently on the campus of the Konkan Geoglyphs Research Center, Ratnagiri. Structurally, the artifact is divided into 2 horizontal sections. In the upper half, the artifact features the hand of a woman adorned with bangles, raised in an upright position, a very defining characteristic of Sati stones. Beside the hand, a figure can be seen worshipping the Shivalinga with the sun and moon symbols along the top border of the stone. The lower half features a couple seated on a raised platform, with the man holding a sword. The artifact chosen and presented by Team Blaze from Navy Children's School, Mumbai, is an Indo-Portuguese inscription traced to the 7th century CE. Originally found in the fortress at Seoul, this inscription is currently housed at the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Vastu Sangrahalaya. Written in the Latin script in Portuguese, the inscription marks the commissioning of the fortress of Seoul in 1635 and the beginnings of its construction in 1636. The inscription further highlights the position of the fortress of Seoul not only as an important Portuguese port town, but also as a location where supplies were imported to support the missionary work of Saint Francis Xavier of the Society of Jesus. The artifact chosen and presented by Om Damaria from Nalanda International School, Vadodara, is a 10th century sculpture of Lord Vishnu. Finding place as the preserver of the universe, Lord Vishnu is one among the major deities in the Brahmanic pantheon. This statue depicts Lord Vishnu standing in the Samabhanga posture, with each of his hands holding the Shankha, Chakra, Gada, and Padma. In addition, depicted near his feet are smaller figurines of three men and a woman. The artifact chosen by Viraj Ansulkar and Amol Naik from Vidyaniketan Convent School, Sindhudurga, is a set of Ganjifa cards made in the Savantwadi Palace. While the earliest origin of Ganjifa cards is uncertain, their popularity in the Indian subcontinent can be attributed to the influence of the Mughal rule. This set of Ganjifa cards depicts the 10 avatars of Lord Vishnu. Even though this set is of recent origin, it represents not only an age-old tradition of playing cards that has undergone substantial cultural adaptations, but also a living tradition practiced in the Savantwadi region of Maharashtra. This object, chosen by Chaitanya Mehta from the Sri Gujarati Samaj AMN English Medium School, Indore, is a 19th century CE marble sculpture of Garuda. The sculpture, currently located in the Rajwada Museum or the Holkar Palace in Indore, depicts Garuda, the Vahana of Vishnu, in a human form. Adorned with a mukuta and other ornaments made of serpents, the sculpture shows Garuda seated in a half-kneeling posture on a coiled serpent, holding what seems to be a floral bud in his hand with a serpent. Dated to the 12th century CE, the object chosen by Team Virtual Voyagers from Aryavidya Mandir, Bandra, Mumbai, is a statue of Ganesha. Currently a part of the collection at the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Vastu Sangrahalaya, the statue finds its origin in the Thane region of Maharashtra. Made entirely of basalt, the statue depicts Ganesha in a seated posture, holding his broken tusk in one hand, a bowl of sweets, and a lotus bud. Adorned with a serpent girdle, his mount, a mouse, features near his feet. It is to be noted that the presence of Ganesha in religion transcends the Brahmanical pantheon, as he finds mention in Jainism, Buddhism, as well as other religious systems followed in the Eastern and Southeast Asian countries. Presented by Team Geek Squad from the Navy Children's School, Mumbai, our next object is an architectural fragment made of gypsum alabaster. Dated to the Neo-Assyrian period, the panel shows an eagle-headed winged figure known as Apkallu in the Mesopotamian culture standing near the sacred tree. The figure can be seen holding a bucket in one hand and a pine cone in the other hand that is raised to the sacred tree. Originally a part of the palace of Ashurnasirpal II at Nimrud, this panel is currently a part of the collection at the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Vastu Sangrahalaya, Mumbai. The artifact chosen by Vaibhavi Vaidya from Vibgyor High School, Goregaon, is a carving depicting a Dwarapala and a Gana. Located in the Jogeshwari caves, the panel can be dated to the 6th century CE. The panel shows the Dwarapala standing in the Dvibhanga posture with one hand resting on the thigh and the other holding a mace. Beside the Dwarpal is a dwarf-like figure of a Gana featuring a slight pot belly with one hand resting on the thigh and the other holding what resembles an instrument. Our next artifact is presented by Niharika Sanu from M.V. Herwadkar English Medium School, Belgaum. The artifact is a sculpture of Bhuvaraha located in the Bhuvaraha Lakshmi Narsimha temple at Halsi, Karnataka. Dated approximately to the 5th century CE Kadamba period, this depicts Vishnu as the Varaha avatar. The statue shows Bhuvaraha in the human form with the head of a boar, standing with one foot raised and rested on a naga and the other foot on a turtle. In his hands, he holds a conch shell, a mace, the chakra and a lotus. A small sculpture of Bhumi Devi can be seen seated near his tusks. Our next artifact is presented by Prajjot from Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan's Residential Public School, West Godavari. Presently located in the District Archaeological Museum in Eluru, Andhra Pradesh, the statue represents Bhumi Devi. Entirely made of sandstone, this statue shows Bhumi Devi adorned in elaborate jewelry standing in the Dvibhanga posture with a stone prabhavali around her. This statue can be dated approximately to the 18th or 19th century CE. Apart from freestanding statues, Bhumi Devi can also be seen seated or standing next to Vishnu as one of his consorts. This statue of Ambika Devi, presented by Team Eureka from Vidyaniketan Convent School, Sindhudurga, is one among the group of sculptures found at the outskirts of Pendur village in Sindhudurga. This group of sculptures can be dated approximately to the 11th century CE. The sculpture depicts Ambika Devi as a seated woman holding a child in her right hand. Interestingly, the statue has become embedded in the trunk of a tree that has grown around it. This site as Pendur is a repository of wide range of sculptures that range from Brahminic deities like Mahishasur-mardini, Kubera, as well as sculptures of Jinas.
So this is really remarkable. I'm really surprised each time we run this competition as to what the young people come up with. So Dinesh ji and Shivram, I'd like to explain to you what's actually happened here. So these are individual exhibits which the students have chosen from their environment or due to their passion, and they have exercised photogrammetry, which is a skill that we taught them how to take a 3D object and convert it into a 3D model, which they then put into the Blender software and make a virtual museum exhibit. Now, all the artifacts that you see there are made by each individual team. That includes the main artifact along with the posters and the signposts and all that around it. All we've done in this video is that Madhu, our designer here, has put them all into one video in which he zooms in and out of the artifact to show what they have. But the work is entirely that of the students, right? With a little bit of help from us. What they've done is essentially they've not only chosen an artifact which is meaningful to them, they have told a story about the artifact, they've shared their research about the artifact, and they've learned how to do research. They've learned how to find original sources of information and cite them and build up a narrative based on that and tell us what else is happening in the world. And they very faithfully recorded their entire thing in a report which they've given to us, right? So perhaps here I can ask Madhu and Sanjana in whatever order to give their comments, and then we really welcome the reactions of Professor Singh and Shivram here as to what their impressions are of what we've done. So this is a very unique way of relating to history, and I'd be very interested to also hear from the participants themselves as to how they changed in this journey of learning history in this manner. Right. So who would like to go first?
Sir, we have Anita Ranimam also joined with me, sir.
Great. So Anita
Yeah,
got brought out by rain. We
I,
have great. We have Dr. Anita Rane Kothare here. She's another
yes,
very dear friend. I'd like to welcome her. She's the head of Ancient Indian Culture Department in Xavier's University in Bombay, and she's an expert on Buddhist cave structures and all sorts of interesting things. She's a member of the advisory board of the Heras Institute and member of the academic council, president of Bombay Local
won't
History
leave it all. But
Society,
Kavi, let
all
me
these
tell you
kind of
something.
things. Yes.
Seriously, I got a shock when I saw the last one, Pendur, because I was the one who discovered it.
Wow, that's really excellent to hear.
Yeah, so I was very glad when I saw. I discovered it in 2001. And when
Excellent.
I saw all, I said, "Arey, wow, man, they've gone right up to an interior of Sindhudurg district and they have gone to Pendur and they have discovered these things." So I think the
Excellent.
presentations of each and every child which I saw, I mean, they were fantastic at their age. Honestly telling you, they
How
were
do they,
very good.
how do they
Really,
compare with your
congratulations to you
students?
all.
How do they compare with your students?
No, my students, all of them don't know this technology. We had introduced this over here. So every year I've got to introduce it over there. But as compared to that, I think they've done a fantastic job. The only thing which I found was that keeping that man over there watching, I mean, that virtual gallery sounded really funny because he didn't really fit over there. The way they had placed, wherever they had put up a visitor over there,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
shouldn't put it over there. And
Okay.
certain places like they could not turn it. turn the whole thing around. Not all, you can do all of them. It would have been very nice doing it. But I really found them very good. Congratulations to all of them. Hats off to you.
Thank you. So Sanjana, Madhu, any comments before we come to our other guests?
Sanjana, go ahead. No?
First of all, I'd like to congratulate every single person here for all their hard work and great job that you have done. And we can see the results right here in front of us. I was involved with helping, or rather assisting all of them with a little bit of research, selecting their artifacts. Just a few highlights that I found that were consistent and should be appreciated for all the students is that a lot of them have gone out of their way. They've traveled 2 hours, 2.5 hours, one way travel to select an artifact which they could work with, which fit all our requirements for artifact selection. So they've gone out of their way to access heritage, find out new places that they can visit. Other thing that some participants have done is that they've reached out to people who've worked on projects associated with these artifacts and gotten information and updates about the current status, how the process of, say, conservation or how those artifacts were found. And they've also gone and found out if there were any official correspondence between the government and the people who are custodians of the artifact currently to see what is the update on artifacts. One such example would be the Pendur finds. And beyond that, all of them have done a wonderful job in accessing resources, looking at books, not only online, but some of them I think have gone to libraries or visited other places where they could access information on artifacts. They have learned how to reference, they've learned how citation works, and they've shown all of that very properly in their research articles. And the last thing which I would like to highlight, or rather kept it for the last, is because they've not only restricted to the artifact within the Indian context. They looked at are there any parallels of the concept that an object represents across other cultures. So we have examples from Greece, Egypt, Mesopotamian culture. So they've pushed themselves to look at how history is not just geography associated, it's not just one location, it's world heritage that we're looking at when we look at any single object. So excellent job, all of you. And it was a wonderful experience for me because every time I'm a part of this, I get to learn a lot more from you. We get newer perspectives, and I'm very grateful for that. Thank you.
Very well put, Sanjana. Now we have our designer friend here, Madhu, who's from IDC in IIT Bombay, and he's been working with us and he helped us develop this concept. So, Madhu, the reason I'm asking them to speak first, uh, Dinesh and Shivram, is to give you the context in which all this was done, and all the training was done online. In fact, I have not met these youngsters, neither have any of the rest of the team, but we've been working at a distance. So perhaps Madhu can. So Madhu trained them in the 3D aspect of it, the Blender aspect of it, and all the visualization and all that. Madhu.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So basically, this is the sixth edition that we are running. So we've been running this for quite a while, and I found some interesting observations. Observation number one is this competition is not easy. And basically, usually what happens is you have an assignment, you do that, and then you submit, and you are like the results are announced. But in this competition, what we do is me, Sanjana, and Deepa, we work with the participants to bring out the best in them and give the best submission possible. And the jury members at the end of the competition is the ones who decide the standings in the end. We also like measure metrics like consistency and submission dates and things like that. Those are minor matrices. The second thing that I observed is this competition is not only for the participant, but it is for the entire family of the participant. So basically, the participant has to go outside. So parents have to plan things accordingly, take a day off, take the child to the desired location, and not only the parents, but the teachers who help the students over here. So these are two very interesting things that I found. And in the process, what the students learn is that it is not just about like giving assignments, right? It is about learning about that particular artifact to the depth that they can write a research article about it. And if any of our esteemed guests have some spare time in the future and want to have like a light read, they can please come to our website and read their research article, because that is where their intellectual intellectual property lies. So please come and have a look at that. So thank you.
So this is where I'd like our guests to now comment. Professor Dinesh, we can start with you first, and maybe Anita after that, and Shivram, because Shivram has seen this for the first time.
Okay, look, Kavi, I mean, I've seen this earlier, and I have always been a great fan of all the work that your students have done. These kids, I'm amazed at how much they are sort of engaging in so many ways. At one level, there's technology. At one level, there's knowledge. At one level, there's creativity. At one level, there's innovation. And when you combine everything, it's a powerful mixture, a powerful alchemy of all these things that changes the way we look at history. And when we studied history, mostly we had to remember dates.
We'd like
There
to
was,
see you also.
sorry?
We'd like to see you.
Okay. We had dates and we had uh, facts of wars and kings. This is a much greater dimension to the meaning of history. And incidentally, there's going to be a conference in Delhi in October on history through the lens of artificial intelligence. And I think this would fit very nicely in one of the sessions. So I would urge your students to think about that. We'll send you all the information. You are a keynote speaker there, Kavi, so you are aware of this. And one more thing I felt as a further project, there is so much that has been stolen from India. As my good friend Dr. Shashi Tharoor says, that the British Museum actually should be aptly renamed as Chor Bazaar. It's full of stuff they've stolen from India. It would be nice if they could do something. I'm not saying we should start abusing it, just artifacts from India that are outside India. Let's not get into this blame game and this and that. But they may be able to find things both in parts of Europe and America, and we could create greater awareness about India's ancient cultural heritage. In the other direction, if they were to go eastwards, Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, there would be. I would love to see Angkor Wat, on a virtual platform. So these are just some suggestions, Kavi, and I thoroughly enjoyed this. It's always a delight to be a part of this. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dinesh. The reason why I had invited him is because these are the kind of things that really excite the teacher in him and the creative person in him. And it gives us great joy and happiness to see the kind of things that young people do. And I think we'll take him up on this history using AI, right? I think this is very compelling to use AI as an assistant to do better research.
Yeah,
Uh, Dineshji, I believe the students might have done that already. So perhaps,
I believe so. I'm ready to believe that, Kavi. I'm ready to believe that.
right?
Yeah.
So this is where, as soon as we mentioned AI, I'd like to pull Shivram into the conversation, right? Shivram, this is the first time you've seen what is possible with young school children. So perhaps your reactions would be appreciated.
Yeah, so before my reactions, I have a couple of questions because I'm seeing this for the first time. You said school children. I mean, how old are the children? Like which classes?
Fifth standard upwards.
Wow.
Fifth standard upwards. Okay, you caught them young.
Yes.
All right. Also, I'm just curious to hear from any of the school children themselves. how did you find out about this, and what prompted you to do it? If it was all the hard work and everything that you did, what kept you going? What motivated you to do it? Maybe one of them can answer.
Arohi or somebody else? Would anybody like to volunteer and answer? Deepa, you should suggest who one should collar here.
Okay, maybe Niharika or Prachur like to share your opinion.
Uh, Ma'am, I want to share something.
Yeah, go ahead.
This competition is like very interactive. Like it helps students to inculcate in various activities, like as Blender. Like people don't know how to use computer itself. Some students they don't have, and like once they started, like many things are developed now, like as AI and stuff. So the more they go on into computer, the more they like do those activities in the computer and all, like as Blender, and they get like inspirations on how to do a particular object. Like they'll get the knowledge to know that there are these programs, or there are these like softwares that like you can go and like you can make a program, or you can design a particular object. And like it will also help in the like world environment. Like there are many things, so save environment, so you can make a device in Blender that like helps to in houses to save electricity. So there are like many things, and it also helped in my studies, because like before also I said that I had no interest in history, because all the teacher used to say that read this, read that, and all was a theory, like, and all we were remembering is dates and all. But now I'm like continuously like getting interest in this, because the more I go deep, the more I learn about what is there in history. And like the more you read it, it's not just about dates, it's about what you read and how much interest you have in it. And the more interest you have, the more you'll get to know what is there in this India, or where whatever you're studying about. So that's all I want to say.
But
Thank
tell
you.
me, are your parents a bit upset about you distracting yourself from studies? I think who's there? Your mother's there, is it?
Yes, 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 sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So I want to ask you because we are very wary of these kids and their relationship with their parents because parents are very focused on padhai karo, right?
No, 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 sir. She
Well,
is.
here we are distracting them. So I'd like your opinion as to what is the effect of what we've done with them because you are the best measure of it. And what do you think how has it affected her? She may not
Initially,
be
she
very
had,
interested to know.
yes, sir. Initially, she had no idea about the computers or nothing, because initially, to teach them, it should be first of all, we should inspire them, and then we should create interest in them. So, when I received the mail, e-Yantra, I thought it is interesting. She said, I don't know anything about e-Yantra or virtual museum. I said, you participate, you will get to know what it is. Then slowly she started learning Blender, as Madhu sir was insisting her, okay, do the changes, do those changes. Initially, she felt in the first time when she had participated, she felt it was bit difficult. Then later, whenever that virtual museum competition ka email I used to get, she was telling, I want to participate in this, I want to participate. Because she only, I mean, with interest she has come. The Blender software, she used to do a lot in the Blender software. And as well as I said, no, it's something, it will create interest in the history. It is not that doing or artifact Blender may, she should concentrate on each and every part of the artifact. It is not just taking a picture and putting in a Blender. She should know each and every part, and it create lots of interest. Even Sanjana madam and Madhu sir, they were asking, do those changes, do these changes. Like she only was telling, I want to do this, I want to do that. So she used to sit till 2 o'clock or till 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the midnight, and she used to do that. And by seeing her interest, I said I never forced her to do anything. I said I had given her a chance. Okay, you participate in that. I will encourage you. And it is up to the e-Yantra team who really they interacted with her, and they really made her to complete into the how to create. It completely created interest in history.
Has your schoolwork gone down as a result of all this distraction?
No, sir, no.
It's not.
Sir, no, like the grades actually increased more
They
than I
improved.
expected.
That's really good to hear. Why do you think they've increased?
Sir, because now from what I learned in this competition, it's very interesting. I don't know why. Because the more I read about something or any artifact or about any history, it just creates a spark that comes from within. I don't know. So like I search about it in Google, and I also request my parents to take me there sometimes so that I can see what is there behind all of these books and this story.
Great. Niharika,
Yes.
uh, if I may, Kavi, with your permission,
Certainly.
have you heard of Grok? Grok?
No, sir. Sorry, I
Okay,
don't.
so it's an artificial intelligence platform that Elon Musk has created. There are many. There's Gemini, there is ChatGPT. I find Grok is they're all good. But I somehow find Grok is a tad better. And it would be nice if you could use that to supplement, to have a critical view of some of your ideas and things, and it'll also give you suggestions. It'll give you references. I've been looking at something very interesting through Grok, and it's connected to history. So I was looking at Bajirao Peshwa and how this was just a few days ago. When he came to Delhi, he didn't have, I think he had only 400 soldiers, and yet the Mughal Empire was scared of him. And I wanted to know what was going on. And Bajirao, so Grok gives you lots of information. So Bajirao needed some funds. So how did he collect those funds for his war campaign in Delhi? So he collected them from nearby Delhi. He did lots of interesting things, and he won 40 battles in a row. All these are very interesting things. And it also tells you other aspects of the cultural milieu that existed. Depends on how you ask your questions, how you prompt the artificial intelligence platform. It'll give you a very interesting answers, images, suggestions. So that's one thing. And the other thing that I wanted to tell you is that, the whole thing is going to help you in life. I learned from Kavi yesterday that one of the e-Yantra students was working for one of India's best known, highly acknowledged IT companies. And after a year, they were reviewing their performances for promotion. And so they were interviewing those employees. And so they interviewed this boy also. And that's when they learned about his e-Yantra work. And they doubled his pay. You see that? So it's going to tell your mother, I'm not saying that should be the reason, but there are benefits also. Okay.
Good. We should use you in our marketing campaign.
Sorry? Yeah, you should use that. You should use that.
Anyway, so we have Prajot here. Thank you, Niharika. This is really nice to hear, and I'm
Thanks. Thank you.
delighted to see how your mother is with you, and I can see that she's also enjoying the process of learning with you, which is very important. And most importantly, Niharika, you said something very special without knowing it. You said that it created a spark in me. Okay, that spark is very important, and we are all looking for that all our lives to find that spark. Which once that spark takes place, you start looking at the world and your studies and your work very differently. So you are quite privileged, and keep on nurturing that spark. Okay. So
Yes,
I'd
sir.
like to, with your permission, go to Prajot, who's very patiently been waiting. So Niharika, what standard are you?
Sir, I'm in ninth standard now, currently.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing.
But in ninth standard. Shivram is very curious about this because he's also slightly behind in the race because his daughter is only 6 right now. But it's quite interesting. Prajot, how old are you? In what standard? And give us your comments which you want to make.
Yes, sir. I'm 12 years old and I'm in 7th standard, sir. I just came to 7th.
I used to
Okay.
be in the seventh standard once. Go on,
So
go on.
tell us, what did you want to share with us?
Yes, sir. When I joined in this, I am motivated to join this because I like to learn new things, sir. So when I came to this, I learned Blender and research and photogrammetry also, sir.
And where do you
So
stay?
I stay in Rajahmundry, sir, in Andhra Pradesh.
Okay. So what was
So
the effect? Shivram, perhaps you should ask him a question because he's one of the younger of the lot.
Yeah. So, Prajot, how long did it take you? For how many weeks or days did you work on this project?
6 weeks they gave it. So not very long, but I worked during even during my annual exams also, sir.
Okay. All right.
So they were
Well,
working
good
through their
job.
annual exams also, huh? So did it spoil your grades in your annual exam?
No, sir.
How come? Because all this is work and it's distracting you from the annual exams.
No, sir. But this is also learning, no, sir.
This is also learning. It's nice to hear that. Thank you, Prajot. I think Arohi put up her hand here. Arohi, you want to share something?
Yes, sir. So I like the way we could learn the history, which is not taught from textbooks, in such a creative and innovative manner. We also got to learn how to use Blender, Kiri Engine, and other softwares, which we which most of the people really don't know how to use. So like I got to like look at the things from a different point of view, and now whenever I see some old artifacts, I always keep on thinking about like doing photogrammetry and making a blender model out of it. But yeah, most of the times it's not possible sometimes because the light problems are there, and there are problems in with the artifact itself.
So what school are you from? What standard and
I'm
where?
in seventh.
Which school and where?
Arya Vidya Mandir, Bandra East.
Bandra East. Okay. So that's really interesting to know. Now we are getting a flurry of hands come up. There's team time trekkers. If you can just introduce yourselves, what standard, which school, where?
Sir, my name is Tamanna and I am Tanmaya, and we are both from the 8th standard, and we are studying in DPS Pardeep Refinery. So,
Paradeep Refinery. That means you're in
yes, sir.
Odisha,
Yes, sir.
quite far away. There's a
Yes,
township
yes,
around the
sir.
refinery, is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what did you want to say?
So we learned a lot from this competition. First of all, we learned how to manage time. It really helped us in our studies, during our annual exams or all of that. And we learned how to do research methodologies by. So whenever we go to different temples or museums, we just look around at the architecture and all that sculptures there, and we are so eager to know about them more. So it really sparked an interest within us. And also, like when we were studying history before, we didn't find it much interesting because we thought it was just about memorizing the dates and other things. But now, when history, we never thought that history could meet technology. But now in this competition, we were really interested that history could be taught in such a fun and a more interactive way. That's all we want to say.
So tell me, how has it changed you? Has it changed you in any way? Like, are your teachers seeing any change in you at school, or are you seeing a change in yourselves the way you kind of engage with school now?
Yes, sir. We are seeing a change in ourselves. We have learned how to manage time and how to do more research for a particular topic.
So also,
Okay.
is this sort of spreading to other students in your school and also your teachers? Are they taking
Yes,
more
sir.
interest in these projects and stuff like that?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
very nice.
I think Abhay Maheshwari wants to say something. Thank you, girls. What standard, which school, where?
Hello, sir. I am from AVM Bandra East in Mumbai. I'm in 8th grade so far.
Okay. So what do you
And
want to say?
so, what I wanted to share was that this competition was practically perfect for me in every single way because I absolutely did not know anything which we were doing in this competition. And since I was able to learn everything for the final exhibit, that it helped me so much in learning so many new things that I was actually able to form a virtual museum, which I never thought I could have done, I mean, without this competition. And now, I mean, I know what, five, six different things which I absolutely did not know earlier. And I've seen a big change in myself throughout the course of the competition. So when I started, I was not able to manage time quite properly, and now I have significantly become better at time management. I've learned Blender, Canva, and I've even learned photogrammetry, which I didn't know was something that existed. And to me, it's very cool that something like this exists. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
See, but I'm curious about one thing. How has it affected your studies?
So I think I've become better because of it. Because at the start, I was just normal school kid, but now I'm the vice prefect of my house in our school.
Wow. And to what do we owe that?
So I think it's because this competition has made me more, we can say, disciplined. Because I think that has helped me in my school work as well. Because it since this came on to me, and I found that every week we have to do something, and it's a bit similar to what my school does because we have to do PBLs and everything else. So that's why I think that that's how it's also affected me in my school life.
But
Great.
has it
Great.
changed you? Has it changed you in the way that you engage with your other subjects in any sense?
Yeah,
How?
history. So mainly
No,
history, cause
apart from history, the other things.
Computer
um,
science, IT, mathematics. I'm sure your perspective has changed.
yeah, so I really love robotics. So now I'm looking at stuff like robotics stuff that okay, I see this, I can imagine it. Now I can actually build it and create it through Blender, which I could not do earlier. Like now my imagination has no limits. It can literally run wild and whatever I think of, I can make it technically.
So are you saying that you become like you feel more powerful now?
Not powerful, but you can
I'm not
say
sure it
that
is powerful. It's certainly more enlightened, happier, more
yeah.
fulfilled.
You got a
Yeah, all
spokesperson, by the way, Abhay.
what?
You got a spokesperson here in Professor
Uh,
Dinesh. He's reading your mind.
No,
Okay.
I can see his reactions, and not just his, every child. It's a
Yes.
magical transformation.
So we
Yes.
have Shivram thinking a lot at the moment, right? I can see that.
Yeah, so I wanted to
We
wait
didn't
to
know what
hear
to
from all of
expect.
them. I
Yeah.
want to make a slightly different point. First of all,
Yeah.
of course, it is very heartening to see all the children transform themselves, learn so much from this process. But I have a comment to make from the perspective of the other end, AI, right?
Yeah.
So AI is this thing that's suddenly started entering our lives. Professor Singh was talking about the usage of large language models, ChatGPT, and so on. But one question we should all ask is how is AI able to do it, right? And the answer to that question is AI trains on data. Okay, the fact that it is able to answer some question about Peshwa and some temple here and there is some document on the internet, right, which is written about it, which the AI has read and digested. Now, it is a fact that most of the data in the digital domain on the internet has been produced in the West, right? It is people, English language, German, Spanish. There is so much more documentation in these languages because of the advantage they've had in terms of time and technology. And countries like India, which are so rich culturally, linguistically, historically, right, are underrepresented in the digital domain on account of technology coming to us later. And so it is really essential for AI, if it has to be used meaningfully in the Indian context for more data from our lives, our societies, our culture, our history to enter the digital domain, right? And that is precisely what all of you have done, maybe unwittingly by taking part in this competition, right? By doing the photogrammetry, if I got that right, right? And
Yes.
taking these idols and making them 3D models out of them. Of course, this is only a start, right? But now there can be programs that look at what you have done, right? Make connections between an idol here and a document somewhere else. So you've really bootstrapped a process which can take off, right? The technology of AI will allow it to take off. But what it needs is the data, right? And you have really started this process of populating that database. More of us need to do this. I think more Indians need to have the awareness of what data means, the confidence to use the technology, which is again something that was very apparent when all of you spoke, right? So this is very heartening from the point of view of democratizing, right, the AI, right, and letting people build it up, bottom up, right, rather than us all just sitting in our armchairs, right, and waiting to be served the next dose of AI. So I'll stop here. Maybe students can continue.
Shiva, what you said is very important, and one of our previous guests was the head of history department at Delhi University, and she observed that what these people are doing is that they are collecting primary data, right, through their models, and they are capturing data from first principles, empirical data, and telling stories about it, which perhaps don't exist in the existing written history.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Exactly.
And they are bringing things out of the woodwork which don't exist in our archives, because they're going to these remote little villages or temples which you don't know of. There's so much history all around us, and they're helping capture it. And they are like little historians, as she said, and all this material that they are collecting could actually be research material for historical researchers,
Yeah, yeah.
is what you're
So
observing.
why other historical research? Our students themselves could become the
Absolutely.
researchers.
We have Chaturya here who wants to make an observation. Do you want to introduce yourself? Which school? How old are you? Standard? Ha, Chaturya, we can't hear you.
I'm in grade 12th and I'm studying in Vidyaniketan Convent School, Kasal. And
Where is
I
Kasal?
in Sindhudurg,
In
Maharashtra.
Sindhudurg.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So our project was about the stray archaeological finds in Pendur. So that's not a very famous archaeological site. So as sir said that AI can be used. So we tried to get information from ChatGPT or other AIs. But we were not able to find like accurate information about it from the internet, because no much accurate data is there on the internet. So actually, it helped us because we interviewed many people from the village, or many professors of history and ecology also, and we created a very good interaction, and we gained a lot of experience from that, like how to inquire the people, and in which way we should ask the villagers so that they won't hurt their feelings, or it will be respectful for them also, and we can get knowledge also. So that was a really good experience, different from other things. And the history also is a good thing that we learned actual history. Like it was very interesting because it was not just about the stories and dates, but actually from the artifact and its story, we learned that many diverse cultures existed in the means ancient times, but now the cultural and these things are like quite complicated. So at that time also it was like sorted, but now it is not. So we should learn from that. We also learned it from that our project. Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thanks. In fact, you are in the 12th standard. The reason why we've not promoted this amongst the older kids is because we feel that it'll be too much of a distraction from board exams. So, how did you cope?
uh, like uh, I didn't participate in any other competitions from 5th to 12th because I was in a residential school. So I was really eager to participate in this, and my mom also encouraged me to participate. And at the first, I was not means really interested in this because first assignment was like family genealogy. So I thought that what history would we be uh, knowing from this. So afterwards, when we came to know about that, it was really interesting, and we really explored new things and also traveled. So it was really interesting.
So, in fact, Dr. Anita is here, and she's the one who apparently discovered that your artifact actually exists in the world. So, perhaps she has primary data which you could maybe use at a later stage and do something about it. If Anita is here and she can still
Yeah.
say something.
Actually,
Yeah,
Kavi,
Anita.
it's a beautiful site. I discovered this Jain Basdi, and there were different Amobasha. I've written papers also on this, and then it was highlighted. So everybody ran. In fact, one of them does not have a head. If you observe, the young boy, the head is with me to show that I found it. Okay, so when they really save the site, it would be nice. So what you could have done is while you displayed it, you could have shown the actual condition of the artifacts, how they are under the tree and what in what position they are. Of course, now they're much more cleaned up, but it kind of shows the existence of Jainism in Sindhudurg. That is why it is very important. So as you saw the whole thing, you're able to understand that this virtual museum is a kind of edutainment. If you look at it, it is an edutainment for children that history beyond textbooks can be observed. In fact, I don't mind being very honest about that. Sanjana was one of the early girls from my class who were introduced virtual galleries. So they made a whole gallery of different, you can say, like an exhibition over there of these things. When during COVID, we were, you can say, placed at home and you can say having lectures online. I thought this was a great idea to introduce it. So where all the artifacts from the world, as Sir had said earlier, could be brought over here and it could be displayed. So when you cannot go there, you can see those artifacts virtually. So I think it's a brilliant idea to introduce history through AI. And I think more than students over here, teachers should be encouraged to learn these things because I don't think so. Teachers are aware about this. So I feel that this movement should go to, you can say, schools where teachers introduce this concept into, you can say, maybe you can say sciences over here, humanities, biological science, geography, and make that subject interesting.
Yeah, in
That's
fact,
what I would like to say.
thank you. This is very important. In fact, you also introduced another topic of restoration.
Yeah.
Chaturya, now what you need to do is that this stolen head, which is now in Bombay, in Dr. Anita's possession, you should go and scan that and restore your sculpture by putting that head back now. And
You can't until it is saved, otherwise somebody will flick it. So it has to go to a museum, which I think the Patil from, you can say, Pendur is once they're going to save it because actually everybody was running to take the sculptures from there away. And
okay.
then we had stopped it over there. So the Patel family from Pendur, they are the ones now they are aware about because they started the movement. So last 6 months ago, they invited me as a chief guest to that school over there at Pendur. So I think there are many such sites waiting in Sindhudurg. I found petroglyphs also. So you can make many such, you can say, programs for children with the help of AI. So if you do these virtual tours for them all, it'll be amazing. Like
Yeah, we shall do that. In fact, I bought
can't
a drone.
reach, they can really go and do it.
I bought a drone just to look at
That's the way
your.
I look at it.
We've just bought a drone.
Yeah, but the drone can't be used now,
Very
unfortunately. You have got to ask now permission to use
Okay. So
the
we'll
drone,
go to the
otherwise
last
they
person.
will confiscate it.
Okay. We'll go to a last person, Viraj here, and Sanjana had a hand up here. Or Sanjana first, and then Viraj, and then we'll kind of conclude. Yes, you are.
One thing I would like to highlight with regards to the Pendu submission is that Chaturya and her group, that is Ved and Rashi, they've also tried to find if there were any previous attempts to conserve that site. So they found a trace of paperwork from the people in the village to the local office and back and forth what kind of correspondence they have had. They also found out about an attempt to have these objects relocated to the Thiba Palace Museum in Ratnagiri, but somehow, unfortunately, that didn't go through. But now the site is there, and they have actually gone out to people. They've spoken to people in the village, outside the village, local authorities, and I think one of their teachers was very pivotal in making sure that they had access to that kind of interaction, not only with the locals but also with authorities who could have done something or are still in the process of doing something for that site.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks, Sanjana. We'll go now lastly to Viraj, and then I'll ask the team to now conclude. We have to announce the winners and honorary mentions and so on. So go on, Viraj.
Sir, one more thing. Viraj,
Yes.
sorry. So we'll have Viraj, then we'll have Sudhanva and his mother to share their impressions, and then we'll move to the valedictory.
Will do.
Yeah.
Viraj.
So, hello. Hey, my name is Viraj Vinod Kansulkar. I study in 12th standard. I got to know about this uh, competition last year from my mentor. Actually, his name is Bhushan Pangam sir. So we in a group took part in this competition from the Eureka Science Club, and I am really proud to say that the four teams amongst these 17 teams are from that group. So it is a great thing that that way he could be a part of this competition. This is my second time I am participating in the virtual museum competition. The thing that got me to participate a second time, that in the first time only I realized that the Indian culture is so vast that even 100 more such editions of this competition will be less to depict all of it. So that motivated me that Indian culture is so global that here we can find its traces means relevances everywhere in the world. So we are so I actually got to know a lot of technical knowledge also, means like eh, like speaking about AI. I means many softwares I actually incorporated in my life, like the paraphrasizer and the AI image enhancer software, which I use now on a daily basis, which I got to know because of this competition on only. And DeepSeek, the name suggests, is really a big boy that actually helped me, which analyzed my research and actually commented it like a real human being. So a AI in that perspective helped me. And apart from the technical knowledge, I also got to connect with people. Means like I got to connect with the royal family of Sawantwadi. So I got to know information from them, and Sanjana ma'am and
Lost him.
We lost him. Professor Dinesh was so busy that he said, I'll come for half an hour because I can't stay for more time. And it's almost been an hour. And
I just sent you a message. I now finally have to leave.
okay.
So do allow me to beg leave, and
Yeah, we'll allow you after this last comment, which we'd like to hear from Sudhanva, because that'll get the message across.
okay, okay.
Sudhanva and your mother?
Yes, thank you, sir. First of all, I would like to congratulate and wish thank you to the all our e-Yantra team, Kavi Arya sir, Deepa ma'am, Sanjana ma'am, Madhu sir, everyone. I think there are many more behind the stage who are working on this project. History with technology is such an
थोड़ा टाइम हमें भी
innovative.
दे दीजिए.
Yes, sir, of course.
No, I'm just kidding, just kidding. Go ahead.
No, the history with technology is such an innovative concept I have never heard before. And as how we have learned history, and that is other thing. But what I appreciate is this innovative concept to the younger minds. Not only my son, there are many more who are very younger who have participated. It's a like we have believed on their creativity. Like whenever working on this project, as Madhu sir said, this was the project for whole family, not for only child in the family. So whenever he had, my son had observation, and he was like he was not sure. So what I appreciate that this competition has taught him to believe in himself, his own creativity and his own observations. Where wherever history is taught, like there are some methods or research methodology or proper training, but these minds have gone through their own creativity that is very much clear and visible in virtual museum, that their own creativity which has come out with this the great result. So I really want to thanks, because this platform has given my son maybe the thought process, the understanding, the maturity he would have not got maybe through the life experience. It would have taken next 5 years or more than that, which he has earned in this 3 month duration. And I can see the change in his thought process and understanding of the surrounding, and looking at anything with the creative way and believing in himself, his own creativity and observation. That was the gain which I understood from this competition. And this is our second experience with e-Yantra, and I would really like to thanks deeply from my heart, because whatever I have gained as a parent is far more than words, which I am feeling the change in the personality of my child, and which is the more successful thing than any prize or any winning thing. That is what I would like to convey. And thanks for your time. I think I should not extend it more. Everyone is waiting for the results. But in my eyes, all these 14 are winners. It doesn't matter rank 1 or 5 or 14. What they have done is far ahead than the all students of their age, and that is the winning thing for all of them. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ravi,
Thank you.
before I leave, can I just say very quickly something?
Please do. Please do.
Okay, so first of all, I forget the name of the lady who just spoke, but she said very nice things. And prizes are not important. It's important that you participate. And to my mind, each participant is a winner. And remember, the most important thing in life is to compete against yourself. Don't worry about the others. You march to your drum beat. आपको जो भाता है उसके साथ एकदम तन मन धन से लग जाइए और उसमें रोज प्रतिदिन अपने में सुधार लाइए. वही सबसे बड़ा कंपटीशन होता है. ये ई यंत्र में आपको इसका पूरा मौका मिल रहा है. और यकीन करो, इसी से आपकी जिंदगी जो भी मापदंड रखोगे उससे वो सफल हो जाएगी. मैं उम्मीद रखता हूं कि आने वाले दिनों में प्रोफेसर आर्या मुझे और मौके देंगे टू कनेक्ट विद ऑल ऑफ यू. I look forward to this. This has been a very enriching, very enlightening session. And unfortunately, I am compelled to leave. I would have loved to stay and hear everything. But my best wishes to everyone. Thank you very much, especially Dr. Arya.
Thank you, Dinesh. Take care. Professor
Bye bye.
Dinesh Singh, we are delighted to have you. Thank you very much. And now we shall proceed. I think uh, we've done a good job in understanding and beginning to understand what has been happening here. And it is with the friends of, it's with friends like Professor Dinesh Singh and Professor Shivram here and my colleagues Madhu, Sanjana, Deepa, that we are beginning to understand what we are doing. So we are actually training the students in a fundamentally important skill called critical thinking. Critical thinking is not taught anywhere, but through the study of history, you learn it. What is critical thinking? What does a historian do? They see evidence of various grades, reliable, unreliable, visual, oral, written, and they have to piece together to find out what the truth is. If you see, that's what a researcher does. A researcher finds evidence of various kinds, and they have to invent some interesting theory out of that or understand what is driving the entire thing. What does an entrepreneur do if you want to make money? He says that again, critical thinking to find out where the markets are, what the market wants, all these kind of things, and to objectively understand what needs to be done. This is a fundamental skill needed in the law profession, in IAS officer, Pradhan Mantri Yojana deploy karna hai. The goods are not reaching. Why are they not reaching? Try to understand why. Nobody teaches us this. What we are taught in school is to just memorize and reproduce. So, through this process, I feel the young people are beginning to ask questions, which is the most important skill which we need in the future. And I think uh, Professor Shivram will also understand the importance of this. We made a kind of small start, but I wish we can give this kind of exposure to all the students. But now let us just get on with the program because I promised my team we should finish from 5 to 6 and not bore everybody and go very long. So I'll hand over the floor to Deepa to proceed and help us close the proceedings. Deepa, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So we'll move to our valedictory ceremony. Sir, could you give Sanjana co-host permission or share access?
Yes.
Yeah. After valedictory, we have Anuj sir and Shubha Pandit ma'am also with us. So after valedictory, we'll have Anuj sir because after this grand finale, this we'll have a media interview. So Anuj sir will be talking to you all, and we'll have another session, not today. So I request now Sanjana to uh, announce the results.
Just share my screen so we can all. Okay. So first of all, I would once again like to congratulate every single participant who has taken the efforts to manage their academic schedule, work through their final exams, their ongoing exams and other commitments, and reach to the finals. Congratulations to every single one of you, and as Sudarma's mother said, your participation means a lot for all of us because you're learning something new. Why we hope, while having fun. Now, our awards for today, we're beginning with our category awards. These are given to participants who have done well in a specific category or they've done a specific task for their final submission very well. Our first category for today is Presentation Award, and that award goes to Abhay Maheshwari from Arya Mandir. His artifact was the Surya statue. Congratulations, Abhay. I also request all participants to kindly keep their videos on so we can see you. Our next award is a Rare Find Award, and this is going to a team which has gone out of their way and found something which not a lot of people know about. That award goes to Team Eureka, that is Ved, Rashi, and Chaturya. We next have the Best Exhibition Award. This team has done a lot of effort to bring their exhibit to life by adding a lot of fun elements to it, and this award goes to Vyas Ansulkar and Amol Naik. They also managed to make a 3D model of the person who was making the Ganjifa cards, and you can see that person sitting at a table in their exhibition, along with a lot of video usage to illustrate better. Best Photogrammetry Award is to Arohi Limaye. She has gone across Mumbai and taken photogrammetry of all available milestones, and they were all a part of her exhibit to contextualize her artifact better. Next award for the best video goes to Niharika Asanu. Congratulations, Niharika. The Best Research Award is for a team which has given a very good research article that presents not only historical background but a good analysis of whatever information they have looked up or they understood and a lot of comparative study that they have done in their work. This award goes to Tanmaya and Tamanna Alamki. We now move on to the honorable mentions awards. These are awards for our participants who have reached the finals. They've done a wonderful job in making sure that they're sending in every single requirement for the final submission. This is to appreciate your effort, your commitment to completing the competition. Our first honorable mention goes to Chaitanya Mehta, whose artifact was the statue of Garuda. Aruna Shahani for his work on the Sati stone. Rajneesh Shevade and Ishan Suralpal for the Nataraja at the Ellora cave complex. Suleiman Khan, Anshuman Das, and Arnab Shekhar for the eagle-headed winged figure. Om Tomadia. And Adya Singhania. Adya is also incidentally among our younger group of participants. She's also from the sixth. She just moved from the sixth to seventh grade. So again, special congratulations to Arya, Arohi, Adya, Arohi, and Prajot. Tavish, Samat, and Ridit for the Ganesha statue. And now we move on to our podium awards, which is the top 5 of this competition. We go in the reverse order, starting from the fifth and work our way up to the first. So the fifth place award is a shared award which is going to Vaibhavi Vaidya for her Dwarpal and Pranav photogrammetry and exhibition, shared with Niharika Sanu for the Bhuvaraha sculpture. Fourth place award goes to Siddhartha for his work on Vishwakarma. It was highlighted to the jury also that his artifact selection was a little unique because it's not very common to find Vishwakarma statues in the first place, but this is the five-headed Vishwakarma statue. So congratulations, Siddhartha. Third place award goes to Anand Yadav, Piyush Singh, and Ojas Neria for their Indo-Portuguese record submission. Another submission that received recognition in the jury interaction for being unique, mostly because the museum has a lot of artifacts and they chose to work on something which is not very conventional. Second place award goes to Prajot. Congratulations, Prajot. Prajot has been extremely consistent in his submissions throughout the competition, and again, he's one of our younger participants, and he's done a brilliant job in all of his submissions so far.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Prajot. And the first prize goes to Tanmaya and Tamanna for another very well submitted research document, video, exhibition, blender files. Everything that they've done has been very consistent. So, congratulations to all of you.
This is wonderful, and that too the first prize to someone from Paradeep Refinery. This is the first for us also. Great, good work.
Thank you, sir.
I
Yeah, over to Deepa and the team.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So I would request Shubha ma'am, if you're around, to share your impression about the event. Anuj sir, you're there? Okay. Okay, so shall we conclude, sir?
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
like Shivram to say the last words before we conclude. He's very patiently stayed till the end. And since he's going to be more responsible for these things as we go along, Shivram, I hope that you feel that this activity of ours is meaningful. Please let us know your mind.
So just to maybe tell these students what I do, right? So I'm colleagues with Kavi in the Department of Computer Science here at IIT Bombay. So I teach undergraduate students, right? Students are all older than you, mostly ones who are studying engineering, right? So I've been doing this for about 10 years now, right? So I get access to very different, I think, population of students. The basic premise is the same. They're here to learn, they're here to develop themselves, learn critically, things like this. So for me, this is like an eye opener because I'm seeing much younger children and children who are doing something very unconventional, studying history, learning how to use Blender and technology to digitize it. So, I mean, I've had a very enjoyable evening just looking at all of this. Also, believe me, just looking at the actual artifacts. Suddenly, I'm thinking about idols and temples and all the lost treasures of ours. Maybe not lost, but at least not discovered yet. As Kavi said some time back, I think there is so much in our country that is hidden, right? That local pockets of people will probably know. Only really this kind of process is done, right? Over a period of time, it will be forgotten. So what you've done, I think, is very, very important, even in the large scheme of things of representing ourselves, right? Really defining who we are, what our culture is. To a large extent, AI is and the digital world is taking over how we live our lives, how we access information, and so on. So the fact that you brought all of this into the digital domain is very, very valuable. I'd just like to encourage the students to continue forward, whether it is history or anything else. As Kavi said, being able to think critically, independently, originally, right? These are all very important skills, attributes to it, right? So don't ever lose it. Be confident about yourselves. It doesn't matter whether you won or lost today. I think the fact that you've taken the pains and done all of this is perfect, right? So best of luck to all of you. Keep up the very good work.
Thank you, Shivram. That's very eloquently put. Right. I have very little to say. I'm just very happy that all of you have found this experience meaningful. We shall have two sessions. One is that Anuj, part of our media team, would like to interview each and every one of you and including your parents to get your real impressions and all that. And we would like your help in spreading this word to your friends in your school, because we want more and more people to have access to this kind of knowledge. And I think it's very important for not only yourselves, but for our country. Our country needs more thinking people, young people who think, who use their mind, who think critically and question everything around them. That's a very fundamentally important skill which our schooling system doesn't give you, right? So I feel this is very important what you've done, and you've yourself discovered that it's very empowering. We have my colleague here, Professor Shubha Pandit, who's the principal of KJ Somaya Engineering College in uh, Bombay, very close to us. It's a very respected engineering college. And she's been working with us. I'd like her to give her comments before we close. Shubha, over to you.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience to see all the work which school children have done. Great learning, and I'm sure they will have a very bright future if they continue in this way. Thank you. I mean, congratulations, everyone. Uh, that's all I will say. Thanks a lot, and thank you. The team has done a great job.
Yes, indeed. The team has done a great job, and the team comprises Deepa leading the show along with
Yes.
Madhu and Sanjana. And I'd like them all to take a bow because they've done a fantastic job. A big hand to them all. Yeah, Deepa, I give it over to you to close.
Yes, sir. Before closing, I think Prajot raised his hand. So, Prajot, you would like to share something, and then we will conclude finally.
Yeah, Prajot. You brought your
Okay.
dad. That's great. Tell us,
Yeah,
sir.
it was me actually. Thank you, team. It was great. This program, I think, really matters because I wish this program really grows into a much bigger one. um, bringing students from across the country. Um, you know, um, they learn by doing things. So this is much better than regular book reading. Prajot has been quite good with regards to his academics always. Um, but the reason we enrolled this particular program um, is basically to help him, interact with others, interact with people, because he's somewhat, he doesn't mingle a lot with people, kind of. But he's doing good now, at least speaking out. Um, marks are a different thing, but learning through practice and presenting things. I have seen so many presentations today from different participants, and all are really really good. And these things really encourage kids. You know. History, as someone has pointed out, I think initially, if it is kind of, if they have to learn just through the books, right, it gets boring really. Um, but if they involved in doing things, go to the site, uh, learn from the people, interact with the people, get the insights, right? And these things really, bring a lot of enthusiasm in the kids. So I really really love this program.
Thank you very much, sir. What do you do, if I might ask?
I'm a, software engineer. I work for a software company in Hyderabad.
Okay, great. So we find that this, we are doing it because we think it's so meaningful increasingly. Now we're just trying to see how to scale it up. Perhaps you and your friends can help us do that. Um,
Sure, sir. Sure.
it looks
I mean,
like
this is
competition.
really good one. I mean, because it encourages kids to, actively participate, happily participate with interest. They do this. If we push them to read some books, right, they may not show as much interest. But if we push them to, speak in public, go get some details from different places, you know. Research online. Prajot has been doing, I mean, this, he's using ChatGPT, Grok, everything, and he's collecting a lot of information. And that way, I mean, if I compare myself, right, when I was in at his age, right, he's kind of far ahead with regards to the kind of knowledge that he's getting because of the tools available in the market. And if students use these tools as they come into the market immediately, adapt to the technology, changing needs, then it will be like they can learn lot more things than regular studies.
That's interesting that you say that, because people are trying to understand whether we should protect students from AI and keep AI away from them. And on the contrary, we feel that AI should be used as a tool, like the computer. But the children themselves are kind of seeing that AI by itself is okay, but you have to question AI also. You shouldn't just swallow blindly what AI says. You got to kind of triangulate the knowledge that you get from other sources. And I'm seeing more and more that these youngsters are kind of questioning everything, and that questioning is very important, which they are beginning to learn. And I'm very proud to say that if that is what's happening, I think we've done a fair job, and we need to just scale it up and have more
It's
young
not
people,
a fair
because
job, sir.
we
It's great job, really. I should
great.
say, and because no, um, I mean, he's good at academics, as I have told you right at the beginning. Um, but what matters here, what improvement I have seen him is he's now trying to research on things, be it science. I mean, he's interested in so many subjects. But reading things is one thing, but getting information from various sources, analyzing, find out what is truth, what is what can be not so truthful, right? So segregating these things and documenting these things is really interesting. I have seen this change in him basically, not just on this particular research thing, but outside, like he's learning science subjects also in a similar fashion. He's interested in biology, he's interested in chemistry, but what that the difference that I have seen is now he's trying to research more. A proper guidance has been given through this program. That's my understanding.
That's great to hear. So I'd like to just tell Prajot, Prajot, when we started this history competition, even I did not know what to expect, right? We thought that we'll try it and see what happens and get students interested and, train them in various skills and so on. But what we have discovered with each edition, we are also learning, the students are teaching us things, that they are giving us such beautiful insights about what's actually happening, that this itself has become a research subject for us. I think there's enough for a couple of PhDs in educational technology and educational research here, because I think one young lady here, Niharika, said that it creates a spark. And I think that spark is something that all of us are looking for in our lives. Once that spark happens, it sparks off something which affects everything else that you do in life. And it transforms the way you engage with school and with the world around you. They have told us more than what we expected. So thank you very much, all of you, for that. And in the interest of time, I think we've gone almost to double the time that we had hoped to be. I'll hand the floor over. Thank you, sir, for having shared these very precious insights with us. And
Thank
I'd
you.
like to hand the floor over here to Deepa now
Thanks, entire team.
to close. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for your beautiful insights. We congratulate everybody. Congratulations to all 17 finalists. And it's really hard work, unique artifacts that we got this in this edition. We will soon be launching our edition 7, so we'll notify you all. And we thank Professor Shivaram for his insights, impressions, Professor Dinesh Singh sir for his time and his impressions. We thank Anita Rane ma'am for spending time. I think ma'am is not here right now. So we thought we'll just conclude it, but it was really a beautiful session. We thought it will be just 1 hour. We'll announce the results because you are eagerly waiting for the results for months. But this whole session has been very beautifully come out, where we could hear your feedback, your impressions, and what parents think about this. So it starts from family genealogy. So it starts from family, ends with family. So this is just not an individual activity, but a family activity is what we see in this competition. And kudos and congratulations once again to everybody. I thank Professor Kavi Arya for giving us this opportunity to host this kind of competition every time. So, sir has quickly mentioned that okay, we just not limited to one edition per year. We'll release it one after the other so that more students get the exposure to such kind of competition. And this time, what we did is we launched this competition for grade 6 also to participate. So it was still 7 to 12, but this time we made it 6, and we see that 6th grade kids are doing really well. So henceforth we'll make it grade 6 to 12, and we'll run this more often. So thank you all. And with this, we conclude, and we thank the Ministry of Education for funding us, and we thank our IIT Bombay. And good evening to everybody, and just enjoy this moment.
Thank you. And I'd like to thank Shubha Pandit for having stuck it out till the end. She's been working a lot with us at e-Yantra. So again, This entire effort is funded by the Ministry of Education, and we've been running e-Yantra as a project at IIT Bombay for the last 15 years. And we've been focusing really on engineering college students in training them in contemporary skills. We've trained almost 250,000 engineering students over the last 12 years. Whoever we touch gets placed in jobs at 50 to 100% higher packages because of the practical skills they learn from us. Many of them go for higher degrees, or they do startups because we train them things like drones and chip design and embedded systems and collaborative robotics and stuff like that. This engagement with children or school children started only in COVID when people said, "You're doing all this thing with college students, why don't you do it with school children?" But we didn't know how school children would react to this because we train remotely, and whether you'd have the focus and ability to learn at a distance. And you have delighted us in showing that even with remote working, it works beautifully with you guys. And you have taught us a lot in the process. So thank you very much. I think we should take a photo of everyone here before we close, whoever's left.
Sure, sir.
Sanjana, will you do that, or Deepa?
Okay.
Just unmute yourself and then we'll close.
Yeah. Please turn on your video so that we can take our pictures.
Yeah.
Okay. One take done. One more. Yes. Done.
Thank you very much. Good night. God bless. And Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good night,
Thank you,
guys.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.